Oh, Arknights, the wonders of mobile games. Possibly even one of the best out there. Well, with the other kings of
iPhone.
It has good gameplay, art, and lure.
It is pronounced lore, you crackhead.
And that's what we're here to talk about today. What I love about Arknights. Arknights is a simplistic-looking tower defense game. The objective is to protect the blue box from the enemies who will normally spawn in the bread box. So, how will you stop the enemies? Well, you have your characters, their stats, talents, and their skills. These are what make a character stand out. While some skills will provide a lot of healing, or killing a troubled enemy. Some slow or stun or whatever else. Hell, some can even fill multiple roles, like Folonic and her ability to heal and damage, or Blemishine with the same, except she can also block and tank damage. Or Ling to, solo the game. Now, what is a tower defense game without the
giant enemy spider?
So, you have your basic enemies, quick and tanky enemies, your enemies that fly, explode on death, attack from across the map, debuff your enemies, and burn in hell. But it is these enemies that obviously make a map as hard as it is, unless it's
the boss baby.
Now, the bosses of the game aren't anything new. You've got a boss that dodges and just tries to go full sprint towards the exit. That is Crownslayer. Or maybe it's W, whose sole purpose is to deal big AoE damage, so that the basic enemies can get through themselves. Or Patriot, who I let through on my first time, because the Chad deserves his freedom. Definitely not, because I don't have any Tudor to demolish him. So, probably thinking now, well, what's to do with the game once you've completed it? Well, that's where I get into my next point. The reason the game keeps on giving.
I need more power.
Events come on a, normally, 3-week rotation, and they have a few categories. Mini events, regular events, and limited events. Oh, and contingency contract. Can't forget that hellhole. All of these events will have a currency dedicated to that event, unless if it's contingency contract, because it wants to be special. And with that currency, which you collect from completing the event missions, you can buy stuff from in the event store, which will have materials, money, XP for your characters, and furniture items. Okay, the mini-events are shorter than all the other events, with less items in the store. However, you can also play the main story to collect the shop items during the mini-event, making them great for farming. The normal events last 2 weeks, and can only have their shop currency collected from the event missions itself, and the limited event will have more stages in the event, more items in the shop, and will normally be accompanied by a limited banner. And limited furniture, who cares about that? Oh lord, the gacha system. Why don't I speak about that now and get it out of the way? My dogs are making it so hard to record this. The gacha system is, from what I've seen, the best out of any other gacha game, with a 2% at a 6-star being the highest tiered units in the game. Now, what is a gacha system? I can hear my father asking, getting ready to disown me at a moment's notice. Well, you gamble for characters. Yay, woohoo, and people stream themselves getting overhyped about a character that will be overshadowed in a few weeks. Well, what do you gamble? A thing called, 1 minute, I have to open the game to find out its name. What is it? Okay, it's called a random, and it will cost you 600 a random to do a singular pull, or 6,000 for 10. Well, how do you do it? How do you do it? How do you get it? 2 ways. Well, multiple, actually. I'm just too lazy to count them. Let me list them off. Through a currency called Originite Prime, given out after an event has been released. From completing stages and by paying for it, or from the many stores in the game. From doing specific missions dedicated to a character called a Paradox Simulation. And the thing I'll be speaking about next, Annihilation missions. I have so much to read. Annihilation stages are stages longer than usual stages, with you having to defeat 400 enemies, and a refund policy dedicated to how many enemies you have defeated. With the more enemies you defeat, you will get more a random. Sadly, you cannot repeatedly farm these stages for an infinite amount of a random, as it will max out at 1,800, or 3 pulls if you can't do simple math. And this 1,800 will reset weekly. Well, there is another way of getting this stuff, but I'm too lazy to speak about how. So let's just speak about what you need to do it. The base is a sort of free way of collecting money, XP for your characters, and getting another thing called masteries for your operators, which will make their skills even stronger, and this base has definitely not been in beta since it was released 2 years ago. No, not at all. What next? The lore.
It is pronounced lore, you crackhead.
Well, the lore of this game, it's a thing, that's for sure. I personally didn't look at anything to do with the lore, I just played the game though. I did know that every single character has their own backstory, with some of them being cool as hell, like Shining's backstory. Every stage, and a few other things, also have their own lore. Oh, and there's this thing called Orypathy, or Magic Rock Cancer, which has a kill rate of fucking everything. And I definitely didn't write in my note list that I was only going to speak about that, and then proceeded to speak about everything, because I'm on drugs. Well, the final thing, until I'm done with this everything. This script has gone through 3 rewrites. The first one was going to be speaking about 3 stars, the second was going to be speaking about a game mode called Integrated Strategies, and now we're on the third. Hell, why don't we continue to speak about integrated strategies, since it is one of my favourite things about this game. Oh, integrated strategies. The roguelike of Arknights. I won't speak about much of it here, because I do want to do a separate video. One that, well, when I get motivated to do anything in my life, that is. Well, I don't even give a damn anymore if you want to see something about integrated strategies. Just watch the video, I guess, because I'm done doing this. God, I wish I knew how to write before doing this script. and I've read it. Yep, I'm done. Ooga booga. Now I've got to edit it. Wah.